How is heat exhaustion different from heat stroke? Both heat-related illnesses need to be treated right away, but they have different effects on the body. Summer days are already hot, and they're getting even hotter. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said that the decade from 2010 to 2019 will be the warmest on record. It's important to know about heat-related illnesses and their warning signs because there are more and hotter days. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, say that more than 700 people die every year in the United States because of extreme heat, and thousands more get heat-related illnesses that don't kill them. This is called hyperthermia. Infants, young children, and older adults are more likely to get sick in very hot weather, and people who already have a heart issue should be especially careful not to overheat. But heat exhaustion and heat stroke can happen to anyone who stays in a hot house or car for too long, works or exercises outside in the heat, or is exposed to high heat for a long time. From the outside, the two heat-related illnesses can look identical, but they affect the body in very different ways. The heat stroke happens when a person's body temperature gets so dangerously high that it starts to overheat their tissues and organs. Heat exhaustion, on the other hand, is caused by being dehydrated and having a hard time pumping blood through the body. Most of the time, you can treat heat exhaustion with cold water, fresh air, and rest, but heat stroke is a medical emergency that needs care right away. Heat exhaustion might seem like a step towards heat stroke, but it is that a person does not have to show signs of heat exhaustion before they can get heat stroke. You can go right there without the intervening step. In any case, getting help quickly is the best way to escape problems with heat stroke or heat exhaustion. Seeing the early warning signs. Many of the signs of heat fatigue and heat stroke are the same. However, there are a few key differences. It's hard to tell the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke with the naked eye. You need to know if the person's brain is working well and what their body temperature is to tell the difference between the two. The Mayo Clinic says that heat stroke is most dangerous when a person's body temperature is 104 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. People with heat stroke may have a change in their mental state, get angry, have delusions, be confused or irritable, or have trouble speaking clearly. The CDC says that other signs of heat stroke are 1. Hot, red, dry, or damp skin if the person has been exercising. 2. Fast, strong pulse. 3. Headache. 4. Dizziness. 5. Nausea. 6. Muddled thinking. 7. Getting sick. Signs of heat exhaustion include 1. A lot of sweating. 2. Cold, pale, and sweaty skin. 3. A fast, weak heartbeat. 4. Nausea or vomiting. 5. Muscle cramps. 6. Weakness or being tired. 7. Being dizzy. 8. Headache. 9. Passing out. 10. A body temperature below 103 degrees Fahrenheit. How to treat heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Since heat exhaustion and heat stroke are two different medical problems, the right way to treat them is a little different. If you or someone you know might have heat exhaustion, there are a few things you can do to cool down and drink more water while you wait for medical help. If you can, the CDC says to drink cold, non-alcoholic drinks, stay in the shade, stay inside with air conditioning or a fan, take a cool bath or shower, and take off any extra clothes. Rest is also important because it puts less stress on the heart and helps keep the body's temperature stable. On the other hand, heat stroke is a life-threatening disease that needs to be treated right away. If the condition isn't handled, it can quickly damage or kill the brain, heart, kidneys, and muscles, and it can kill you if you don't. The first thing you should do if you think someone has heat stroke is to call an ambulance. While you wait for medical help to come, you can try to lower the person's body temperature in the following ways. Move the person to a cool place with shade or air conditioning until their temperature is consistently below 102 degrees Fahrenheit. If you can, put them in a cool bath or shower, or use water from a yard hose to cool them down. A meta-analysis of 63 studies on how to treat heat stroke, which was released in March 2020 in the journal Resuscitation, found that submerging a person in cold water between 34 and 63 degrees Fahrenheit is the best way to lower core body temperature. Importantly, the CDC says that you shouldn't give a person with heat stroke anything to drink. This is because most people with heat stroke lose awareness, which makes it dangerous for them to swallow fluids. Research has shown that people who get sick from the heat may have a higher chance of getting some heart diseases in the future. A small study released in the journal found that people who had heat-related illness in the past were more likely to have a heart attack, stroke, or long-term kidney disease. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH, says that workers who are subject to extreme heat on the job may be at risk for something called heat stress. Most people are at risk if they work outside or as firemen, bakers, farmers, construction workers, miners, or factory workers. People who are over 65 or who have heart problems or high blood pressure are also at a higher risk. Heat stroke or heat exhaustion can be caused by heat stress, which can be caused by working out or being in a hot place. It can cause heat cramps, which include cramps, pain, or twitches in the arms, legs, or stomach. Preventing heat-related illness. Both are caused by high temperature, high humidity, and a lot of physical activity. Early warning systems can be used as a first step to let people know when it's going to be very hot so they can plan to stay out of the heat. Knowing how well your body can cool itself depends on how well you know the heat index. The heat index is a measure of how hot and humid it feels. One of the main ways the body gets rid of too much heat is by sweating. The body cools down when sweat disappears from the skin. If there is a lot of water in the air, less sweat can evaporate. Heat makes it so that the body can't naturally cool itself. Everyone should be aware of how much heat they can handle. This gets harder if you are asked to do something, which happens sometimes in sports. You might push yourself because you don't want to be kicked off the team. Even though some people can handle the heat or exercise better than others, no one is safe from heat stroke or heat exhaustion. In fact, heat stroke has killed many experienced athletes. The NIOSH says that workers who can't get away from the heat can take steps to avoid heat stress. Workers should try to work up to heavy exertion slowly, take breaks as often as possible in a cool or shaded area, and be aware that protective tools needed for the job can sometimes increase the risk of overheating. If you have to be outside on a hot day, wear light clothes, both in terms of color and fabric, a hat, and sunscreen, and stop often. Getting into air conditioning for as little as 30 minutes a day could save your life. Check on family members, friends, or neighbors who have trouble getting out of the house and don't have air cooling. People who are more likely to get heat stroke or heat exhaustion can lead to major health problems. This is because they may be stuck in a hot home. If there is a heat warning, pay attention to how your body feels and never leave people or pets in a closed car. Since alcohol makes the body lose water, it's best not to drink in very hot weather. It's important to stay hydrated, and you shouldn't let yourself get thirsty. Suggesting a certain amount can lead to overhydration, which can be dangerous as well. Just drink when you're thirsty and don't let your urine turn dark yellow. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Hit like, share and comment.